it's 10:01. We've got about 30 seconds. We're going to get rolling. If you happen to have ChatGPT or Google on your computer, you're sitting there waiting, try one of those questions at the bottom. Are there any federal law enforcement agencies in your county? How many police officers are in your county? How many law enforcement agencies separate and apart from one another are there in your county? Did you know that there's county marshals? Did you know that there's DEA, FBI, and Homeland Security located in most counties? So got a hell of an opportunity in front of us as title agencies. And today we're going to talk about if you're ready to grow your realtor and MLO referral business as a title agent. I owned and operated Team Title USA for many years. And I also owned and operated my own real estate brokerage for a couple of decades. So I have some experience as to what realtors and MLOs are looking for from their title agencies as we approach the new year. I want to thank Carrie in the middle of the screen, who's been incredibly supportive during one of the more transition-oriented years of our life. We put a mortgage banking organization that we were exclusive to. I quit so that I could create this nonprofit and support my realtors, title agencies, and mortgage bankers in a completely different way. So I quit a 15-year well-paying position at AnnieMac Home Mortgage, running their AnnieMac Works platform, which I ran for 14 years. And then I decided to build out this platform against pretty stiff headwinds in the mortgage and real estate business last year. We're very optimistic and hopeful that we're going to see another busy calendar year in 2025. I want to thank Devin Pinches, our membership director, who's always there for you, answers the 1-800 number, responds to your emails, texts, and customer service issues. And my friend Randy Nemiroff in the middle left side of your screen. He's the Chief Connection Officer for Hero Benefits Network. We really built an entirely different platform around perk plans, and Randy helped us understand how human resources directors respond to a relocation and referral network like ours, how the Hero Benefits Network benefits these large employers. That's what Randy really brings to the table, professional associations and high volume employers. My name is Russ Fitzpatrick. I'm a broker, owner, and real estate agent since 1986. And I have a pretty good track record for building one-stop shopping experiences for customers. That's what I do, build a one-stop shopping experience for the customer. So when the transaction begins, they already know who their mortgage banker is, and they already know who their title agency is. That means you've got a one-stop shop. And little quick disclaimer here, this is not a certification. Our certifications are deep dive with a little quiz, and they take place Wednesdays at noon with the entire team. That's the place where you really understand the culture of Hero Benefits Network. This is also not an orientation. Devin does orientations for all of our members. I think it's on Thursdays. And that orientation gets into the portal and all the marketing materials that you have at your fingertips. Today is different. Today is a coaching conversation. We just talk about growing title agency production, predominantly around mortgage and real estate referrals. So one final disclaimer. The views, opinions, and statements expressed by the host, guests, and callers are solely their own and do not reflect the views, opinions, or positions of HBN or our sponsors. I definitely have a perspective on the residential real estate, mortgage, and title businesses, having been doing this for 40 years. So without further ado, Hero Benefits Network is unlike anything you've ever seen. We're a relocation and referral network that takes referral and back to the employees. What? So when the DEA sends a referral from Miami to Cartagena, Colombia, we sell the DEA agent's house and we give them a $10,000 relocation grant. And that grant is established by donations made in the form of referral fees from our vendors. But instead of us keeping the referral fee like a normal relocation and referral network, we gift that referral fee and the title agency contribution and the mortgage contribution back to the employee, so the nurse, the doctor, or the firefighter. That is the relocation grants and down payment assistance program and where it's funded. So I like to say all we do is give away money. It's an easy job. As a title agency, if you're able to offer your consumers $5,000 and $10,000 down payment assistance and relocation grants, you are the source of those grants. So there's a couple of typos in here I caught, but it was after I could edit it. So I wanted to just say we've done a little bit of background. I want to talk to you about how we attract realtors and MLO referral business to your title and escrow company with HBN, how we spend your $500 donation per closed transaction, and that is a caveat or a little bit of a foreshadowing that there is a financial donation per closed transaction that your title company needs to make to augment the down payment assistance and relocation grants for us. We want to show you how we spend that. We don't take a penny of that. Every deal you close gets $500 and it goes straight to down payment assistance and relocation grants. We don't take any of that. A little later, we're going to cover realtor engagement, specifically how your organization at the title agency level will be able to create sustainable realtor relationships with a program, one of the 6 or 8 programs that we do called Leo the Lion. How we're going to use law enforcement to create sustainable realtor relationships. And the last thing is there's an offer for you to buy an exclusive zip code. You don't have to. It's not required to join. You can still do transactions with us without joining. But if you ever want to join, you get an exclusive zip code, an exclusive county, or an exclusive state. And those are exciting relationships for us because now we have the sustainability of some financial income coming around from the zip codes or the counties or the states. And we don't have to keep any of the heroes' money. We don't have to keep the referral fees. You know what I mean? We can pass those right through to your vendors. And the only way we can do that is if we have a sustainable network of referral partners at the title agency, mortgage banker, and realtor levels. So we find top real estate agents and mortgage vendors to serve America's most respected public servants. Our job is to help our heroes identify the most cost-effective and financially rewarding path towards home ownership or relocation. And we also curate other programs from other down payment assistance, other grants and homeownership support, other programs from private enterprise to highlight perks that are available to these veterans, firefighters, teachers, cops, nurses. And I'm proud of this work. We've been in the real estate business for 40 years, but we're now able to really give back in a meaningful way. And it's not just an altruistic kind of philanthropic ambition. There is a production side of this. Our realtors, our real estate team leaders, our mortgage bankers pay us $100 a month for about $1 million a month. It's a very, very sustainable platform. You know, if a mortgage banker in Connecticut pays a fee to control a part of Connecticut, and then they get all the hero activity, all the essential workers in Connecticut go through them. I mean, that is a sustainable way that we can move the needle of production for our vendors, and that's what makes Hero Benefits Network sustainable. If I couldn't confidently build business for our partners, I wouldn't be able to sustain the network. So our certified realtors send us a 30% referral fee to HBN, and they don't pay any monthly fees or transaction fee. Exclusive realtors that own at least $100 a month zip code save about $600 a file. By reducing their referral fee to 25%, it further incentivizes them to commit to becoming a referral agent for us rather than just becoming a certified agent. They're an exclusive geographic territory partner and they only pay 25%. Mortgage brokers and mortgage bankers pay monthly for exclusive territories. I would say our average mortgage banker is usually a county-wide exclusive, $300 to $500 to take over a little county. And then they help sustain our network by paying that monthly fee. And that's what reduces the mortgage banker's contribution down to 25 basis points. That's all they have to pay. It's 25 basis points back to the hero when they're one of our referral partners. Now, title companies, attorneys, and even builders can arrange to make contributions through our network. So if your title company says, yeah, I'd give $500 for any essential employee that closes a deal with me. If you were a builder and you wanted to provide a substantial discount to essential workers, you could do that through us, and we'll process that money for our builders. And we table fund the hero their down payment assistance or relocation grants in most cases. And then in some cases, the vendor doesn't like the compliance aspect of it on an FHA deal or some VA deal or USDA deal. Maybe the mortgage banker is not allowed to see that much money going back to the hero. So in those cases, we take the donation into our nonprofit, 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization. We turn that money around back to the hero. So I want to talk about the industry for a while, because a lot of the stuff I see on YouTube, talking to major trainers across the country and going to all the events, I see a lot of market relevant training. Meaning today's operating environment is this, you have to do this instead. The operating environment changed, so now we're going to do this. You know, like there's a lot of those kids doing cash offer programs now, all the realtors. But do you think cash offer programs are going to be needed when the market normalizes? I don't think so. A cash offer program simply guarantees that the bank is going to do their job in the first place. So it's more of a guarantee than a cash offer. And I think that the reason that I mention it is because HBN is not a market relevant endeavor. It is an industry relevant endeavor. It is a sustainable decade after decade after decade. It survives good markets and bad. It survives sellers markets and buyers markets. And it supports the listing agents, most importantly, those top agents from across the country that take listings. That's what the Relocation and Referral Network does, is it serves the elite real estate agents around an industry-wide referral fee. So I want to share with you why your realtors are so excited and eager to do transactions where they have to pay a 25% referral fee after closing. Well, because if you bought leads from Google, if you bought leads from Zillow, if you bought leads from Realtor.com, or you bought leads from any of the pay-per-click sites, you're going to spend more than 25% on your lead costs, and then you're going to end up with about a 70% or 75% return. So companies like OptCity and Redfin and all these little industry leaders have been testing the realtors of how high of a referral fee they'll pay on the back end. And I'm happy to say that realtors are willing to pay 25, 30, and 40% referral fees to OptCity, Realtor.com, Zillow, and they're all kind of switching to this model where they're just going to collect these big old referral fees. And the reason for that is in red at the bottom of your screen. It's not unusual for a large real estate brand to offer 100% of the commission on a real estate transaction, and for the brokerage to collect a much, much smaller fee, or what they call broker split, right? In fact, the trend over the past 40 years has been that the splits on the brokers are going down and the splits for the agents are going up. So many real estate agents are happy to work for a team leader say, on a 50-50 split. And the reason they're willing to do that is because I'm paying for it after, right? I don't have to be an entrepreneur. I can just be a salesperson with good sales charisma and good talent, but I don't have to worry about marketing and all that. I can just work for this team leader, take those deals, I get 50-50. So that's kind of what Hero Benefits Network does, right? It says to the hero, like, wouldn't you be willing to give back 25% to the essential employee relocation company for deals that you are closing? You don't have to pay in advance, you pay at closing. In the 90s, the average split was 60-40. In the parts of 2000, the average we hired was 70-30. I hired almost 1,400 real estate agents on a 70-30 split back in the early 2000s. Then after the crash, and then after COVID, it's not unusual for a top producer to be at an 85% split. So it allows some room from the traditional brokerage splits of my day to go ahead and pay referral fees out. So your agents, if you polled 1,000 agents, you said, would you pay a 25% referral fee for a closed and funded deal? I would say that 999 would say yes. What's even most exciting is the greedy bastards that keep those transaction fees and those referral fees are getting rich, at Realogy and at Remax and at Caldwell Banker's Relo Network. The folks at Opt City, they're all getting rich. Well, we already got rich. For 40 years we were working. So all we're looking to do is facilitate a sustainable relocation and referral network that honors our heroes. Okay. So we offer a 0.0115 down payment assistance on any transaction in the country. And we offer a 0.0115 plus 0.0075 on a relocation transaction. So these transactions really help listing agents secure listings. And it also helps, I hope this gets your attention, it helps human resource directors from the law enforcement community or the teacher community or the firefighter community or the nursing community. It helps essential employee relocation directors package up benefits for their inbound recruits or their outbound retirees or just straight relocation customers. Those are extremely valuable relationships for our listing agents. And I was a listing agent at Remax and Platinum Club level. My best years, I was selling 160 homes a year. Very confident that I could attract more listings if I worked in the employee relocation world. So this all subsidizes or curates our down payment assistance and relocation grant. So in red, white, and blue across your screen right now, you're going to see where we get the money from. We're going to take 25 bips as a credit from the mortgage banker in blue. We're going to take 25 basis points from the realtor in white, and the title agency donates about $500. We can go lower than that on small transactions. Obviously, we're very flexible. This is a donation. There's nothing written in stone, but the formula of the donations cumulatively equals up the down payment assistance and or relocation grants. If that makes sense, it is not a gimmick. It is a substantial subsidiary to the ability for a hero to buy a house, a subsidy. And it gives the hero a $5,000 bonus when they're buying or selling a house, a $10,000 bonus if they're selling and buying. So we've got a great track record since 1986 doing law enforcement appreciation program. And this specific map that you're looking at is sort of why we decided to make the move into this arena on a national basis. The red ink on your screen represents domestic migration out of that community. And the blue ink represents domestic migration into the community. So if you see Fort Lauderdale and Miami down there in the bottom of Florida, way down at the bottom, you're talking about the least affordable real estate on the eastern seaboard, right? The southeastern seaboard. Then you look at dead center Atlanta, that little red, they're all moving out to the outskirts, right? And in Florida, they're all moving out above Lake Okeechobee. And in Texas, they're leaving Houston and Dallas and they're moving into Waco, right? And then in California, they're all screwed. They're just moving they're moving to Montana, Idaho, Iowa, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. And then in the center part of your country, you have a few Minneapolis, Chicago, areas like that, around Phoenix and Scottsdale, obviously, that are tremendously unaffordable. And so everybody's leaving those areas and moving. Well, if you took that as a national landscape of homeownership affordability crisis, and you saw the domestic migration in and out of these counties, you'd realize that about a third of every community is made up of essential workers, right? A third of the people in that community are working as teachers, firefighters, law enforcement officers, EMT, EMS, and nurses, and they are freaking pissed. I can't help but saying that. I work in Fort Lauderdale. I get paid $70,000 a year as a cop, and I gotta freaking live in Palm Beach, Wellington, way out north by the north end, and drive 90 minutes into be a cop. That's terrifying. My nephew's a cop, former Marine. He lived had to drive 90 minutes to work every day because he wasn't making enough money to afford to live in the community they served. And if you discounted double income, no kids, or you discounted spouses, you're basically telling a teacher, hey, cute lady, you want to be a teacher? As long as you get married, you can. But if you don't get married, you can't be a teacher. you can't afford it. Okay. And that's what a principal said to me. Yeah, most of our teachers are married. Well, that's just that. You think that's gender bias 101. So we're empowering homeownership, honoring educators since 1986. We believe they do deserve something special, and they will invest their lives serving others. So what we honor them with is, hey, you want to get out of Fort Lauderdale and maybe move to Stewart, or you want to move above Hope Sound, you want to move into, communities like Fort Pierce or Vero Beach, where you could still get an affordable house off the coast. Teachers, police officers. We're going to spend some time on cops today, and I hope it's interesting to you because these cops will make your realtors rich if they serve them. We get a pebble in the pond effect from cops that we don't get from, traditional business. Pebble in the pond means they refer more camaraderie with each other. They tell each other to use us more often than just a regular RE/MAX agent who's working with cops. When you do a good job for a military personnel, veterans, and firefighters, they tell each other about it. And there's a tremendous amount of windfall of ongoing relocation and referral business. So when you see $3,000 to $5,000 to own a home, that's based on the price times the commission times the title donation times the mortgage donation. And it usually, in today's market, above $400,000, it's well above $5,000. But when you're down in the twos or low threes, it could be $4,000, it could be $3,000. And then with relocation grants, we calculate all that. It's all disclosed in writing to the hero ahead of time. And maybe this will get you excited. Imagine you had an army of 30 or 40 realtors or more. They were out there working for the American Legion. They were out there working with the Police Benevolent Association. They were out there working with the Teachers Union. And all of your realtors in your army, I hope this hits, we're promoting your title company. All the realtors in the HBN Army are only promoting one title partner. That's the trick. It's because of the consumer's freedom of choice. The consumer creates their own guardrails. The consumer creates their own golden handcuffs. In other words, they tell their realtor, I want the HBN benefit. That dictates that they go through our realtor, our mortgage company, and our title company in order to accumulate the down payment assistance and relocation grants. They have to work with in-network vendors. And in our network, as long as you're charging fair rates and providing good service, we will honor a single title company in a state. We're typically looking for 15 or 20 mortgage loan officers per state, and we're looking for 40 or 50 realtors per state. But at the end of the state by state growth, you could see where everything would funnel up to one title company. So in your planning, think of it this way: tip your toe in the water for $100 a month on a zip code, expand your footprint to a countywide exclusive after you're doing business, and then take on a state whenever you are doing enough business to justify it. I've built businesses before. That's the way you do it. You don't just start big and have an entrepreneurial seizure. Instead, you buy a zip code for $100, and we start to curate realtor relationships in that county or in that zip code, and then we grow it to a countywide, just exclusive. I do have title companies that come in and take a whole state right now. I have a couple, and I have some countywide exclusive title partners. A lot of nasty, negative people think that this is just like Homes for Heroes. Nothing like Homes for Heroes. Homes for Heroes makes $50 million in profit over the last 10 years. We're a nonprofit. Okay, we're not gouging our real estate, mortgage, and title agencies to such a huge financial burden. We're able to operate this and call it good karma. Call it real reciprocity. You could say it's a gimmick, but we just think it's good business. To become a humble servant leader that serves these professional sectors, 9 employment categories that make up our essential employees, right? So I'm just going to buzz through this real quick for our title partners so they could see what we're doing with our realtors. Imagine we could attract 40 or 50 realtors that all work for your title company. We're going to do that by providing the leadership, providing the mentorship, providing the marketing materials, providing the infrastructure, providing the internet, the technology that supports it. And all you do is take a ride on it, right? We're providing all that to the realtors, and you're the only title company that can benefit from it. So the fellowship is very strong in law enforcement officers. Suffice to say, it is a life or death brotherhood, and some of the police officers in some of the communities are in danger every day. While there's this stigma now, and this new stress and this new anxiety about an eighth of a second decision that a police officer has to make to protect himself. And when you break it down to an eighth of a second, it's a pretty terrible punishment if you make the wrong decision in that eighth of a second. And it's a pretty terrible punishment if you make the right decision in that eighth second. You still have to live with the burden of taking a person's life or protecting yourself. Compensation is very low still in the law enforcement community, but the median housing is up. So when we back the blue with the reciprocity and fellowship, it's very, very contagious. And I'm going to speak to the presidency for just a moment. Whether you're a fan of our new president or not, he and the people that are around him are committed to the law enforcement community. There's no more defund the police going on over the next 4 years, right? It's all going to be about backing the blue and building that. And that's where your title company benefits the most. By having 40 or 50 realtors in the community serving these law enforcement officers, these teachers, these nurses, these doctors, you are the promotional recipient. You're the one who's receiving the promotion from Hero Benefits Network. You're the one who's receiving all the benefits of the promotion from your realtor community and from your mortgage partner. So you start to see this 3-legged stool supporting your title company. That's a very, very profound difference between Homes for Heroes and us. When we go into the Jacksonville Police Department, when we go into the Sheriff's Office in Jacksonville, when we go into the Police Benevolent Association in Jacksonville, we're not going in as your title company, but your title company is who we're going in with, right? So when we explain to the sheriff's officers that are being recruited to hire in, when we go to these events and we're meeting the new sheriffs that are coming to work there, we're bringing your title company with us, right? Because we need a title fulfillment partner. When Sheriff Mike Williams announces his retirement and our realtor congratulates Mike on his retirement, then we're able to then talk to him about his relocation analysis. And if he's intending to relocate to a more affordable community after leaving the sheriff's department. So look at how young that guy is, and he's retiring. That's because it's about 20 to 25 years till you get vested in your pension. And then they leave and they do what's called double dipping. Like Michael probably retire, get somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000 in retirement income. And then he'll take that $4,000 to $6,000 a month and move up to North Carolina, buy a more affordable house, and become a cop again for 20 years. So he gets another pension when he turns 55 or 60 instead of when he's 45. So you get to see, my dad was the cop, and all my family was all in the Marine Corps. I wasn't. I was a salesman at RE/MAX in 1986. But I teach your realtors on behalf of your title company how to send letters, emails, and handwritten notes to these guys, how to do handwritten notes to the HR directors that can get them in front of the relo, sending a FedEx package out or an invitation to lunch or dinner for a chief or a human resources director, sending a FedEx package to the highest ranking officer. These are sworn officers with a huge loyalty to their constituency. So as soon as we make them aware of these down payment assistance programs and these relocation grants, the cops go crazy for them. So one more time, the trailer that they're pulling is your title company, right? They're driving the bus down to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, but the trailer they're pulling is your title company. You just don't have to get out and do all the legwork. You're just going to take a ride as a fulfillment partner to the the Essential Employee Relocation Company and Hero Benefits Network. Carrie did an experiment about a month ago where she did a series of posts on the Jacksonville, on the police social media pages. So rather than sit back and wait for cops to come to us, Carrie went ahead and did some promotional work, and we got 7 leads in the first week. 7 buyers and or sellers, no lead cost to our realtors, just from a little bit of social media interaction. When you see a firefighter fallen or a police officer die in the line of duty, these are incredible, moving, emotional events. I've been at many firefighter and police officer funerals, and it's none too happy a day when a police officer is shot in the chest, pulling over a normal routine traffic stop. That's not a good day. But we rally around the family. All of the law enforcement community rallies around their family, and Hero Benefits Network is always right there with them. I'm only using these Jacksonville examples to show you the extent of the connections we made. Look at the office manager and the member coordinator at the FOP. The Fraternal Order of Police is sort of a union affiliation for all the cops. So getting to know Chelsea and Joanne at the Fraternal Order of Police provides us inroads into marketing our down payment assistance and relocation grants to the cops. So instead of coming in as RE/MAX, instead of coming in as surety title, could you imagine you walked in, "Hi, Joanne, I'm Betty from Surety Title. We want to close more transactions with your cops." Tell your story walking, hun. Show down payment assistance and relocation grants from a nonprofit 501c3, and you get put on their website. That's all I can tell you. I've been doing this for 40 years. I did 2 relocations for DEA. They paid a strange 7% commission, and they collected a 30% referral fee. But we were able to do 2 listings for DEA, and they were good-sized properties. The FBI has a facility in Jacksonville, and the U.S. Immigration and Customs, Homeland Security. So when you look at this screen that's on your on your screen right now, you got 19 leaders and kingpins in the Jacksonville Police Department. You got multiple facilities and multiple leaders in the Jacksonville Corrections Department. The PBA has one primary leader and an assistant in Jacksonville. The FOP has one leader. CIA, FBI, U.S. Immigration, Homeland Security, one leader. So now you have this like teeny little geographic farm. It's only looks like 23, 24 people. But you're farming them not as RE/MAX, not as surety title, not as HMA mortgage, not as Handy Mac home mortgage or movement mortgage, but you're farming this community of law enforcement officers as a down payment assistance and relocation grant company that operates as a nonprofit. And here's a copy of the note that your realtors are sending to the fire chief, to the head of nursing at the hospital district. Hello, Jerry. Hero Benefits Network is a nonprofit committed to law enforcement officers. Offer down payment assistance relocation grants to all law enforcement officers. Our grants never have to be repaid, and the only qualification is sworn officer or civilian law enforcement employee. Up to $5,000 down payment assistance to all law enforcement officers. Up to $10,000 relocation grants for law enforcement officers moving to or from Jacksonville at job transfer, promotion, or retirement. We have been helping law enforcement officers navigate the homeownership affordability crisis since 1986. Every realtor that sent that letter is doing business with Hero Benefits Network, and all the realtors that did not send that letter are not doing much business with Hero Benefits Network. So what my job is tomorrow, you'll see on Wednesdays, is I coach the realtors up in how to build production. It's very easy to build production because the Fraternal Order of Police, the PBA, the particular departments inside of that each operate independent source of business charts for us. So we know we may only get one transaction from the FOP for the whole calendar year in Jacksonville. But when we get one from the sheriff's office and one from the PBA and one from the Jacksonville Police Department, they cumulatively equal up to a $5 million year for us. And this is amazing for us because a realtor doing, $3 million a year with us has to pay out $67,500. I'm sorry, has to pay out almost $30,000, but keep $67,500. And when they manage their source of business chart with us, these relationships are super, super sustainable. So they stay with your title company for 5, 6, 7 years usually. I don't know if it's helping you as a title agency understand what we do, but the call to action is quite simple. Drive realtors to Wednesday, the realtor workshop. We'll be mentioning your title company in those workshops if you're a title partner. Drive realtors to the orientation and the clear to close protocol that happens on Thursdays, and drive realtors to the Friday certification. So Mondays for mortgage bankers, drive mortgage bankers to that. Tuesdays for title, Wednesdays for realtors, Thursdays for realtors and mortgage bankers, and Fridays for realtors, mortgage bankers, and title companies to get certified. I'm going to end on one quick story about a cop friend of mine who was 26 years old when he was shot in the back by a armed traffic stop. He turned around to work on the citation, and the criminal shot him. That's when I decided that cops were not the problem in our society, and there are a small number of cops that are problematic, and I think that's being solved. It's difficult, but it's being worked on. And I want to give back to the law enforcement community, the teachers and the nurses. And I can only do that if I have a title fulfillment partner in your state. So if you find the realtor and MLO referral business to be a big part of your future at your title agency, reach out to Devin, Carrie, or Kendall, reach out to Randy or I, and let's move forward with a crawl, walk, run that can build a long-term sustainable division at your title company. I'm ready, willing, and able, and I'm eager to help. So thank you very much for being on for Tuesday's title tour. And we'll get into clear to close protocol with you on Thursdays so that you can understand how to facilitate the down payment assistance and relocation grants. Enough said. Thanks so much for being on. It's 10:41 a.m. and I've outborne my welcome. So if anybody has any questions, dial 1-800-299-WORKS, 1-800-299-WORKS, or just go on HBNHeroBenefitsNetwork.org, HeroBenefitsNetwork.org. Thanks so much.